Hey everybody, thank you for your patience. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me, pretty please. So, I said it a little bit earlier, and I said it in the. Usually in these live streams, it's all about the live questions, but today I will do some of the questions that are texted live, but I have a lot of them that were pre-submitted on the post-healing survey yesterday, basically, because we did the Friday healing, and then late Friday I sent the post-healing survey, and I asked the 100 people that got the healing to fill out their survey on Saturday. And so there was a question on that survey that said, oh, well, if you want, me to answer a question in the Q&A, what would it be if I have time? And so I have like 5 pages of questions of people that have, you know, submitted their questions. So we'll see. I'll try to bounce back and forth and do a lot of the ones that were pre-submitted and some of the ones that are posted live. But, of course, it's going to be, there's a time limit. There's a time limit just because, I'm a human being and I have limits. Because we just did a healing today, and so that's a lot. I did want to mention, like this is a sort of a fun luxury for me to be able to do this. Like I have some time and energy to do this Q&A, but I don't want to give off a false impression that this is not challenging to do, to read people's stuff. It's not like nothing, because like sometimes clients will be like, they'll give me some email and they'll just ask me to read all this stuff in the email. And it's like, you have to get it, I have to get into a different headspace, and it is taxing to a certain extent. So, I don't want to give the impression that it's not. It's just right now I'm kind of psyched into it and prepared and ready, and so I can do it. And I also don't want to devalue, people make a living reading questions for people. I make a living healing and reading. I do the group healings, and then I do individual sessions, which are reading and healing. So the fact that I'm doing it right now for free, I don't want, sometimes like when I earlier in my practice, I didn't do anything like that for free, because you have to make a living. You have to pay for where you're living and your food and everything. And there are some people in the spiritual community that get this idea that reading is a gift from God, so it's a sin to charge money for it. And as like an early reader healer, you actually get people giving you that kind of an attitude, like you're a sinner because you're charging money for something that God helped you to do. And so probably nobody watching would ever do that or say that to any pro, but please don't. Because it's really like, it's a silly thing, because no, maybe in a past life, like the villagers would provide for your housing and your food, and they would give you sort of a stipend or something, but there's no village doing that these days. So people do need to charge for services. So long story short, but this is fun. This is like a unique thing, Q&A, where I'm doing this for free, and I'm happy to do it. All right, so I'm going to start with one that's live, and then I'll do a whole bunch that were pre-submitted. So the first one live, I've been really dizzy lately, and in 2 weeks I'm getting abdominal surgery. Can you check in on how I'm doing and give me any suggestions on what might work pre or post surgery, not in healing? Oh, was not in the healing today, yeah. Well, your CV and GV meridians, I would say work on those. And that's true for everybody that is dizzy or has immune system issues or headaches. Go work your GV and CV meridians. So GV meridian's the one that goes all the way up here, up the midline in the back and around the head. And then CV goes straight up here, up the midline. So you could search Janet Wright GV meridian, Janet Wright CV meridian, and find the videos. When you're dizzy, your GV meridian around the back of your head is like completely split open. You know, it should be like a tube, you know, that carries energy, like a red tube that carries red life force through that meridian, right? But it's like, it's just like someone took a knife and split it, and then it just is like super leaking everywhere. And same with your front, your CV meridian, you have a couple of slashes. You can get a couple of slashes in that, and then that just leaks out everywhere, and then it just like you feel all like, whoa, what happened? Sometimes dizziness is third chakra or also seventh chakra, like chakra damage. But in your case, that's not true. But I have seen dizziness be chakra damage as well, or aura damage as well. But you're pretty good with repairing your aura. No. I think, yeah, when you get the dizziness, you have aura damage and GV and CV leaking. Not chakra damage for you, just because you work that a lot. So yeah, that's what you can work. So yeah, pre or post surgery, GV, CV, meridian, aura repair, grounding. All right. So now a lot of the pre-submitted ones. These are good. I think you'll like them, guys. So someone says, let's see, which one should I start with? Okay, this is related to what I was just saying, so I'll start with this. Somebody says, today's Saturday, I'm having a headache, which is not super unusual for me, which is good. She gave me context. I always like context, because a headache and I never get headaches versus a headache and I often get headaches is a big difference, like as far as reading the cause and stuff. So anyway, today I'm having a headache, which is not super unusual for me, as I've had chronic migraines since my 20s linked to hormonal shifts. Have been working to clear and heal these, but still a ways to go. Okay, so same thing, GV, CV, meridian, aura damage. And with her, also chakra damage. So GV meridian is the one that I would say is most linked to headaches, you know, just because it goes right around your head. And so if that's split open, it's just like, you're just like, it's really hard to be present in your head. And so you're just not, the boundaries, energy boundaries aren't good around your head then. And so it's easy to get stagnation and damage there, which would cause physical pain. So headaches, GV, CV, meridian, aura repair, chakra repair. Okay, you get the idea? Headaches is like an extreme breakdown in boundaries, usually. I mean, you can get one that's purely medically induced, you know, like by eating the wrong stuff, and just having internal imbalances. Traditional Chinese medicine is kind of cool with that. There's an herb called feverfew, the feverfew herb. And there's a supplement called migrafew, which is basically a concentrated form of like an extract from the feverfew herb. You can take that daily. So I would say for that specific person who says, you know, my headaches, my migraine is linked to hormonal shifts, yada, 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 definitely GV and CV. Like whenever you have a migraine, your GV meridian is like completely split open from like all the way down here to like all the way up here. Like just like if you take the tube and you just split it wide open, that's what it looks like. when you have those migraines, which also means you have a lot of aura damage at the time as well. Sometimes you even get damage to the back of chakras 6, 5, and 4 at the same time. So that looks painful. But anyway, so aura repair, chakra repair, GV meridian repair, CV meridian while you're at it, because they're so interrelated. But for you, I would say also that herb, feverfew herb, and you can double check it with a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner if you'd like, because they're the experts on the internal stuff. But that migrafew herb, that supplement, you can get it just online. But if you want to double check, if you have the internal damp heat condition that would be related to headaches, that would be traditional Chinese medicine. So a good acupuncturist, Chinese herbalist would be able to tell you if you also need the herbal supplement. But I'm saying for sure you need the energy work. So there you go. So it's something you could proactively check all the time. And then especially if you feel a headache coming on, definitely get to work on your GV, CV meridian, your aura repair, and your upper chakra repair. Okay, so that was a question from somebody. Thank you very much. Let's see, trying to get a variety pack here. Okay, so somebody says, how to be compassionate when you don't agree with somebody. My relative is all into these conspiracy theories that question the coronavirus and all the government decisions. I try to be neutral and just accept that we disagree. But when she gets all passionate about it, it triggers me. Okay? So this person has a relative who's getting all wound up about conspiracy theories about coronavirus and that these governments are all sinisterly planning. Okay, so the problem is not, I mean, this may happen to you in certain situations if you have people that are very wound up about their viewpoints and you're talking to them. The problem typically is basically a boundary issue. Like somehow maybe you're just getting triggered and then they're courting your triggered energy blocks. Sometimes, like particularly with conspiracy theories, there are some conspiracies that exist in the world. Personally, I don't see that there are any conspiracies really related to coronavirus, except for the US government not getting into testing because they felt like they could blame it on Democrats. So personally, I feel like that's the only conspiracy that I know for sure really happened. But like as far as unleashing coronavirus on the world, I don't personally see a conspiracy behind that, but like a real conspiracy behind that. So, but anyway, a lot of people who get really wound up about, false conspiracy theories, they're channeling beings. And so the beings just get them to be, like kind of hyped up and, kind of out of sort of rational thinking. So it's just, maybe do a tricolor soak when you're around that person and they're talking about that kind of thing. Maybe it's easier often to have boundaries with someone if you're not like looking at them like eye to eye. So like say there's a window you're standing near, you could look out the window while they're going on and on about the government conspiracy. Like if you can't get them to change the subject easily, then just look out the window and just kind of have your beverage and just, and just say, yeah, whatever you need to say. But, like just orient your physical body to a painting or a window or your beverage or something, so that you're physically not oriented towards the person. Because sometimes that kind of is a cue to the other person and it's a cue to you to kind of go more inward and have boundaries. But like I said, doing a tricolor soak, just earth energy up, pulling that up, that could be nice. For those of you that don't know, there's a video. If you search Janet Wright, if you search YouTube for Janet Wright tricolor, you'll find it. But yeah, so that person's relative just has a couple beings that really get them wound up about these conspiracy theories. So if it happens a lot and it's a real quality of life thing for you, what you could do is, particularly because that client is, intermediate or advanced by now, really, um, just center yourself, like in a meditation at some point, not like in the moment probably, but just in a meditation later, when you're centered and you're good and you got your grounding and your chakras and your aura and everything. Ask your angels for boundaries help, and then just imagine that relative, and then just imagine imagine their angels, and then imagine all their conspiracy theory beings, and just you could request, because it's possible that these conspiracy theory beings are a little invasive with you, so you could just request, angels, can you recycle any of my relatives conspiracy theory beings, and then the angels could take care of even all of it potentially. But also what you could do is just explain on a spirit level, just relax, keep your boundaries, but say, hey, say your relative's name is Sarah. Hey, Sarah, these are your angels, you see that? And then they'll be like, oh yeah. Okay, so these are not angels. These are the beings that get you kind of anxious about things happening on the planet and negative things, and they just feed on your fears, and they're not angels. So if you want, you could get your angels to recycle those beings so that you're still aware of things in the world, but you're not being taken advantage of. Your fears aren't being overly played upon. And all you have to do is say, angels, can you please recycle those guys? And then, chances are on a spirit level that relative is like, oh, okay, angels, please get rid of all them. And then that way, you don't have to deal with it. So that can, for example, there's another person who said that their husband, who does get healings, gets really wound up about being late and if things are unorganized. And some of that is energy blocks, but some of that is a couple beings that person has. So the same exercise would work. Once you're centered, you've been meditating for a little bit, just imagine, your boyfriend or your husband or whoever gets all anxious about something. And then just imagine their angels and imagine all those beings that go, you're late, whatever. The beings that cause this person to be overly anxious and freaked out. And then just do the same thing, explain it to the person on a spirit level. These are your angels, right? And then these are the guys that play on your fears, about being late. And you can just ask your angels to get rid of them. That way your angels can help you be on time. And these guys won't freak you out all the time. And you just say, angels, please recycle those beings. And then, chances are they'll do it. Or you could, if those beings are affecting your energy, you can make the request as well. Angels, please recycle those beings of my boyfriends that are making him, so ragey all the time or so anxious all the time. So, okay, so I'm gonna do another live one. Someone says, hey Janet, I've been working on clearing the top of my aura and my path. How have I been doing? And also how have my parents been doing in the healing? Top of your aura, I would say learn to check layer by layer, rather than just, I know in a healing, I often talk about, the whole top of the aura, where I'm blocking the whole top of the aura. But actually, I think, when you're doing your own work, intuiting layer by layer, you can learn to do it real fast. Is 7 have enough flow up there? 6 have enough flow up there? 5? You're going to get better data if you do that. And if you do that, I think you'll find that 4, 3, 2, 1 still are a little tense up there, still a little compressed. So I would say just learn to sense it layer by layer up there. Do I have enough flow, in each layer, and just count down and do from outside in. Because, that's how we come into the body. We come in through the upper chakras first. So just check the outer layers first. But yeah, I would say it's okay, but you could still expand more. 4, 3, 2, 1, like melt more energy blocks in layers 4, 3, 2, 1 above your head. Below your feet is fine. Your path, your spiritual path out in front of you, your angels show me this image of using a flashlight. If you use get a high-powered gold flashlight, you can make one or get one from your angels and just shine it forward, and you'll see some weird stuff, and then just use that, because the immediate space in front of you is nice and clear, but I think there's stuff that's like maybe, you know, a week ahead of you in the future on your path at all times, that's just like it's a little too murky and weird and kind of disconcerting. So you don't need to deal with that. You know, you don't need to tolerate that. Just use like a high powered flashlight that kind of shines forward a lot, and that way you'll be able to clear more ahead of you on your path. But the part immediately around you looks fine on your path. Your parents, their favorite parts were the was it Ariel? I think it was Ariel who did this chakra healing today. They really liked that, and then the deep thought healing. Yeah. So I mean, they always do great in these healings. All right. So one of the prepared questions, pre-submitted questions that I got from the healing participants was how to get rid of negative body image thoughts. And she had also said that she was having eating issues. So eating issues, I mentioned sometimes, you know, I think it's more obvious that it might be a heart chakra issue, because that's self-esteem, self-love, self-care. But actually, first chakra, if that gets blocked, that causes fear and nervousness and kind of this edgy sort of dissatisfaction. And so comfort food, the thought is it's going to take you out of that edginess, but then you eat some and it doesn't work. So then you're like, well, maybe if I eat more, it'll work, you know, and you eat more and you still have the edginess. And so you eat more thinking, okay, maybe it's just not enough. I'll have to eat more, you know? So I would say for her, you know, first chakra, first layer, it's way too tight. Better though now, she's working on it. So it's getting better. The negative body image thoughts, for some people, it has to do with beings. For her, it does not, because she's worked that a lot already, getting beings out of her space specific to self-image and stuff. So she's pretty good there. But for some people, you know, you can look at, okay, here I am, here are all my angels, and here are my negative self-image overeating beings. And then angels, can you get rid of all my negative self-image overeating beings? You know, can you recycle them? And that can help some people. For some people, deep thought would be nice, but I think in this person's case, it's mostly just fears. So first layer, first chakra work. You can do, like in today's healing, we did that pixel thing where you imagine the front opening like really expanded, and like imagine 1,000 pixels and make sure they're all functioning. Like they're all able to let energy flow through them. And so imagine the 1,000 pixels of the front of your first chakra, physical and astral, and just get all the pixels nice and flowing in the front. And then the back opening of both of your first chakras, and astral and physical, and 1,000 pixels for each, and just get all those, take your time, get all those nice and flowing, or sort of active, so they allow energy to flow in and out, your energy to flow in and out. So yeah, clear fear, basically. I also have videos. If you search Janet Wright clear fear, you get some good options. So even if you feel like, oh, it's just this nervous need to eat, it's not fear, Janet. Well, it kind of is. So just, I have 2 really good clear fear videos if you search Janet Wright clear fear. All right, thank you for your question. I'm gonna do one more live. Someone says, is there a way, Janet, to stop other people's mental energy coming into your energy field at the head level? I think you're probably referring to your telepathic mesh area. You're just not really realizing. I mean, you can be referring to chakra cords, but you're probably referring to your telepathic mesh area. So just look up my video, Janet Wright telepathic mesh, and do that. I think you did not get the healing today, just for context for other people. I know that you didn't. And yeah, you have some holes, missing gaps in your telepathic mesh. Telepathic mesh should be like a nice gold mesh that's in your 5th layer, that's just naturally there, and it's just like really flowing and cool, and it helps you amplify your inner voice and hearing angels and hearing messages from other people. But unfortunately, people can be invasive and aggressive with it and cord it and just blast energy at it, so it gets holes or it just gets cords. And so if someone's cording your telepathic mesh area, it's like they're just booming the whatever they're doing into your mind, you know, like the sound of their communication. And so sometimes if you can't stop thinking about an argument or about what somebody says about something, it's because they're cording your telepathic mesh area on a spirit level. So just do that video. We did work telepathic mesh though on Friday. So if you want, that's probably a shorter version. You could just work the Friday video that we just did 2 days ago. Just look in the comment section for telepathic mesh. But sometimes people like, you know, those little standalone videos. So that Janet Wright telepathic mesh video would be fine. Okay, thank you for your question. So now I will do a pre-submitted question. All right, so we'll do a lighter topic. My husband and I decided to move. This is not me, by the way. This is a person's question that I'm reading. It's not me. Someone says, my husband and I decided to move out of the country, which is a big change. Any advice from my angels? I mean, they just seem excited, and they're saying plan, 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 plan. You know, like even you can do deep thought work, like do any of my deep thought videos to just heal your mind, you know, like the deep thought 2 that we did today, but do it for any energy blocks in the way of you planning. And being, you know, really present and calm for your move. Because it's really like, it's a big shift starting now, and then in the preparation of the move and the actual move, and then the adjusting of the time period there. So it's like sort of like a 6-month thing. Oh yeah. The angels are like guiding me, and so I figure out what the fuck they're saying, what the heck they're saying. So also, yeah, so deep thought 2 technique, you could do it from today's video. Just look up deep thought 2 on today's video in the comment section. But also that video, proactive clearing next 6 months, that would be really good. So, and that's true for everybody, because in the next 6 months, that includes the beginning of next year. So this is a great time to do that video if you want. I mean, anytime's good, but I think it's especially good to have your act together as the year ends and the new year begins. So Janet Wright, proactive clearing 6 would probably pull it up. But Janet Wright, proactive clearing 6 months. That also, oh my gosh, yeah, that video would be so good for you. It also helps you clear family beings out of the way for you and your partner. So yeah, that one. So yeah, any of my deep thought videos would be nice for it, but also the proactive clearing video would be very good too. But yeah, they just say have fun, but you know, plan and be calm. Plan and be calm. You know, peaceful planning, peaceful planning, peaceful planning. It's kind of what they're saying. Okay. So speaking of angel messages, somebody has a question they pre-submitted ahead of time in their survey, their post-healing survey, that says, what is your experience of being able to hear your angels outside of energy healing work? So on a more personal level of communication. So I think he's just meaning like, can you give me examples, everyday examples of how your angels help you? You know, how like what you're hearing from your angels. And so, yeah, sure. So, Oh my God. Angels do have a good sense of humor. Okay, so the first, they're helping me remember, like, it's not memory. Like, I have, like, next to no memory. Like, sometimes my husband's like, that's a little scary, because, like, I won't remember something that, we both talked about, like, a couple days ago. I mean, sometimes I have, like, great memory, but other times my mind is just like, yeah, that's not important. Boop, 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 and it's gone. So it's like, there's all this caching that's where I'm letting go of so much information and not remembering it. But anyway, but my angels, since I'm really good telepathically, it kind of doesn't matter because my angels just remind me of everything I need to be remembered of. I need to remember mostly. But anyway, so the first example that my angels just showed me, they showed me this image of out in the yard. We have 3 beagles, and they're survivors of laboratory experiments. So they grew up in cages. They never knew the outside, like ever. So one of them we got when he was, I think, 3, and the others we got when they were 7 or 8 years old. So they'd been in their cages their whole lives. So they had some terrible habits, like eating their own crap, right? So, you have to be really on it then. If you have 3 beagles in a big yard with big trees, I mean, it's not that big a yard, but there's trees so they can like go behind a tree and like try to hurry up and do their business so they can eat it, which is just horrendous, right? So the angels help with like timing of like, hey, look over there, hey, hurry up, or bring them. They give me a lot of advice on how the heck I'm supposed to corral these dogs, because sometimes they will literally all 3 do it at once. And so then I gotta, like make this noise so they know treats are being scattered on the ground, so they all run to the same spot while I run around and get everything. And like other times too, we have these big evergreen trees in our yard, like big, like, I don't know, 100 feet tall, 150 feet tall, I don't know. And they drop a lot of pine cones on the ground, and pine cones look a lot like dog poop, particularly at night. And then the sizing and the shaping, it's pretty similar. And so we have all these things that look almost like dog poop, and then you have to pick out which is the real dog poop versus all the pine cones, and meanwhile you got some other dog that's about to, so it has to be real fast. So the angels help me find the poop, basically. So, not as like, divine as everyone thinks. Angels help on like basic anything. They're always trying to help with everything. So angels help me find dog poop basically every single day. The angels, if I'm forgetting something, that's sort of a classic way the angels try to help. And your spirit guide helps too with that. So if you can't hear your angels as they're trying to remind you of something, then they'll be like, okay, you tell her, and your spirit guide will try to tell you. So like, I went out in the yard this morning and I brought something, some vegetable scraps that I was supposed to dump in the compost heap. And I was opening up the cold frame and I didn't have a lot of time. And so I almost forgot the little dish that had the veggie scraps to bring it back in the house. So they like made me look over. So I saw on the ground the little dish that I was supposed to bring in the house. So that's easy for angels to do. They can shift your view so you can see something that you weren't going to be looking at, to try to remind you of something. So they'll make you look at something, and it's because they're trying to get something through to you, like, oh, don't forget to do that or whatever. So that happens a lot. Trying to get me to go to bed at night, because I have this thing where I'll just, my husband jokes that, it's like bedtime for me is like a time when like my mind will try to, the imbalances in my mind will try to get me to start some giant project or some big mental debate or some, big giant purchase decision or something, and really I should just be going to bed, so the angels always are trying to get me to just, keep it simple. Do this, go to bed. So they help me with that. Angels just help with all sorts of stuff, all the time. So, they're like, don't worry about that, focus on this. This is the priority, relax, just whatever. It's like having coaches, that are coaching you on whatever you need. And everyone has them. Everyone has, I mean, even a young soul has, like a super young soul has 2 personal angels and a spirit guide. Probably only 2 because they're not as open to working with their angels. So 2 is more than enough for them to keep them safe and whatever. But anybody that's old enough to kind of be drawn to what I'm teaching, they would have 3. Just because of their spiritual age, they would have 3 personal angels at least. And then if they're in a helping profession, like if they're, they're training to become a pro reader healer, or they're training to become a therapist, psychotherapist, or an acupuncturist, or a teacher, they would probably get an extra angel, a 4th angel, like a special assignment angel, just to help them with that career, because helping careers, it's good karma. And so you get extra help. But yeah, so everyone has personal angels and a spirit guide. Spirit guide is a human being spirit that is appointed to you in your life planning process, that they're in between lives, and they help your angels to help you. So at all times you have at least your spirit guide and an angel around. Yeah. And then sometimes you have a whole bunch of your angels around and your spirit guide. So, that person says, what are some of the steps or experiences on the way to being able to hear our angels that we can look out for as we work our energy healing? So yeah, I wanted to mention, because somebody else, like, they had some experience in their life where they heard an angel's voice, and it was like out loud, just like as loud as I'm talking. And that's really rare, just so you know. I mean, I'm not saying it could never happen that someone hears their angels that loud all the time, but usually, in my experience and the experience of people I've worked with, they hear their angels in the same way that they hear their thoughts, their own thoughts. They just, over time, you learn, like, oh yeah, that was an angel talking to me. You just kind of have a sense of, like, yeah, okay, thanks, angels, like, you just can tell. It's just like an intuition thing. But it's not like an out loud voice. It's just like a thought. But it's the angels communicating to you with their thought to you. So, because like that person, because she had that out loud voice experience with an angel once, like years and years ago, she's like waiting for that again. And it's like, no, honey, stop waiting. You already hear your thoughts, your angels as thought consciously, probably about 10% of the time. That person that had the out loud angel thought years ago, about 10% of the time already, you're hearing your angels, but you think it's your own thought. So just, keep centering, keep working your energy, but it's most likely going to be that way. You're just going to hear them as your thoughts. And then eventually you'll be like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks, angels. So, and like I said, like if your eye diverts to something that's healthy, like, I mean, finding poop in the yard, maybe that's not healthy, but it's useful, very useful. But if your eye diverts to, like say you're thinking of eating cookies and suddenly your eye diverts to a snack that's healthy instead, that's your angels, trying to get you to change your approach to something. But so anyway, it's like that. It's like having a little healthy coaches nudging you and suggesting stuff all the time. So I think just keep working your self-love and your, keep doing that 4.5 stuff that we did today in today's healing. We did this, you'll find it in the comment section later if you need to look it up. I'll call it pixel healing, I'll call it maybe. But it's like a very detailed way of healing the front and back surfaces of any chakra, the opening surfaces of any chakra. But you can do it for 4, 4.5, and 5. And 4, because that's for love and self-love and receiving love, and angels communicate in such a loving vibration that this person who's asking these questions about angels, they need to improve the health and wellness of their heart chakra so they can receive that love that their angels are sending in the form of helpful suggestions all the time. Because if you can't receive that love, you're just not going to hear, even as a thought, what the angels are saying. So yeah, just keep working it. All right, so now I'm going to do another live one. Hi, Janet, just curious. I like spooky stories and movies. I don't take them too seriously, wondering if that stuff attracts negative beings. It definitely can. Might depend on the person though, so I will look specifically for you. But yeah, the whole fear thing, it, but it if you're just one of those people who like kind of screams and then laughs, in a scary movie, then it's probably not negative beings driving you to watch something fearful. If you're really joyfully laughing after you scream, but if you just are drawn to negative things and negative people and resentful sort of battles, yeah, that could be some beings just kind of tuning down your vibrations so that you're attracted to negativity. So it depends. I think you used to have negative beings that were drawing you to that stuff, but you've cleared out so much and gotten so much more present that I think it's fine now for you personally. But yeah, like I said, it depends on the situation, but yeah, it can attract. It can be a sort of a being related thing for some people that have trouble with negativity and are less joyful. So you could just, maybe just to be safe, you could just do some tricolor soaks, before and after your scary movie. And just say, hey, angels, can you give me a healing and a blessing? That way you kind of cover your bases. But for you, it seems pretty clean. All right. So I'm going to do another. I'm going to do another pre-submitted one. Someone says, and they're talking about after the Friday healing, because they're getting these healings. And then they got the Friday healing, and then they said, I worked good for 8 or 9 hours during the day. Then at night, I felt depleted. I asked angels for guidance then, but got nothing. Why the blockage when I felt they guided me during the day? Heck, I am required to work 24 hours for now, so they must be there for me too. A big task, but that's when I really need them, when exhausted and have to keep going. So I like this question in part because it allows me to highlight something about angels that I think is a common misunderstanding. So angels are helpers, but they're also mentors. So they're not like, kind of like servants that aren't thinking about your best interest. They're thinking about your best interests. So in this particular case, this person working for 9 hours solid after a healing and was very productive, the exhaustion there is this person needing to sleep and the physical body reality of that. And the angels are not willing to block that because they can't turn your physical body into some miracle machine and not make your body need to regenerate through sleep. I mean, it's possible that, I don't know, that maybe Jing, I guess, in Chinese medicine, maybe it's the Jing or some kind of Qi or something that is much stronger when someone's like 20 and they can do all-nighters and get away with it, and the body kind of is a little more forgiving. Still not a great idea, but it's easier. But, this person and many of my participants, are pushing 60 or pushing, 50 or whatever. And you don't, your body has needs and your angels are not willing to sort of enable your denial of your body's needs because you're just going to get yourself into real trouble. the physical health that you do have, try to, and this is messages from this person's angels, try to not take that for granted. Do not take your physical health for granted. You think life is bad now. Imagine if you lost some of the physical health that you have, because angels are not willing to just, give you this never land of perfection, just because they're angels and they can wave a magic wand and poof, you never have tiredness and you never have physical issues and poof, you never get sick and poof, your immune system's always perfect. That's not what angels do. They're not there to fulfill your every illogical desire. Do you see what I'm saying? So at that point, when you're saying, okay, angels, I need energy now, they're saying, no, honey, you need to rest, at least take, a 5-hour sleep. Your body just can't keep going. You're going to push your body too far, and we don't want to see you do that. We don't want to see you with less physical wellness than you have right now. And and so they're trying to give her a reality check, and she's just like, my angels aren't helping me. Why aren't my angels helping me? They should help me. I need this right now. So part of hearing your angels is you can't get so stuck in what you think should happen. Like this person, and she's not the only one, thinks, oh, her body should just be this miracle machine so that she can, have stamina and focus all night, and she should be miraculously present so that she's focused, but yet somehow being so in her body, but she's going to magically not feel the exhaustion that is occurring in her body because she needs sleep, because that's a natural thing that bodies need. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when people think they don't hear their angels, what it is they're in this ego space of I want what I want, what I want, what I want. And they're not hearing because they don't want to hear, because what their angels are saying is not pleasing to them, right? It's coming from love. It's coming from, they're trying to prevent a bigger disaster occurring in the future. But this person and many people just get so like, no, this has to happen. I need help with this way. This is it, and your angels, they know better, literally. And so they're helpers, but they're mentors, and they're really wise. And so try to be more, if you really want to receive more angel help, you have to be realistic, because they can help you, but not in any way that your mind thinks up, So try to be more open-minded to what your angels are actually saying, because they might be saying, no, go to sleep now. And, you're just thinking, oh, my angels aren't helping me, But if they're saying, no, go to sleep now, it's truly in your best interest. And you're just stuck if you don't agree. So I hope that makes sense. I'm saying it with love. I'm not saying anybody's an idiot or anything, I promise. But, just wanted to point out, and I think this is maybe a more exaggerated example, but it's true in a lot of ways. Angels are always trying to help you. They're always trying to advise you. It just may not be what you want to hear. It's always loving, though, and always kind and in your best interest. So so in order to hear your angels more, just try to be more open-minded about what they might be saying about a certain issue. Because in the end, it'll really, really help you. It's like a crazy, huge advantage to be able to hear your angels. So, you may just have to accept that at 60, you can't work 24 hours a day. That may have to be a reality that you entertain. Because the problem is, if you screw your body enough, your body screws you back in huge, giant ways. And I've seen it before with clients, and it is so not pretty. So definitely, please, everybody, listen to your body signs and your angels. Just be open to it. It's not always what you want to hear, but it's always in your best interest. So I hope that makes sense. And then another sort of related question that person said, she kind of said, well, if you don't have supportive family members, do you have enough angels? I think was what she was saying. Or, like people that are orphans, do they have angels? Yes, everybody has angels. So even if you're a person that's mean to everybody, you have angels, you're probably just not listening. But yeah, if you're an orphan and nobody's helping you physically on a person to person level, you still have angels. And everybody has more than enough angels. It's just like that idea where you have to not be so stubborn and just try to, you know, melt away the rigidity that is preventing you from hearing what your angels are actually advising you to do. So that video, Melt Your Wall, it's a 4-minute video. You could do that video, Janet, if you search Janet Wright, Melt Your Wall. That could be a nice way to just sort of melt the ego stubbornness that is blocking out messages from your angels that you're pretending not to hear, or not pretending not to hear, you're just, stubbornly blocking out. Okay, good question. Thank you so much. All right, so a live question. Today's healing was more gentle on a physical level. Before, I always had to take a nap, which I loved anyway. Is there anything I could do further to feel even better? Any advice would be appreciated. I think today's healing was more gentle on a physical level for you because of the magnetic alignment that we did on Friday. I think the magnetic alignment process just makes stuff work a lot better and flow a lot better, and it makes everybody safer. So I think that's why today was just easy breezy for you. It's because you already got the magnetic alignment on Friday. So further to heal, just work that magnetic alignment more. That's a good one. I would say the pixel stuff, around 5, 4.5, and 4. That's really cool. You could definitely work that a lot more. If for other people that don't know, today's healing, the theme is peace of mind and hearing your angels. But if you look in the comment section, within a day, there'll be a text summary with timestamps. And you can find something about pixel chakra healing for chakra 4, 4.5, and 5. And that's interesting stuff. So you could redo that. Someone's asking a question I haven't heard from in a while, so I'm going to do another live one. Hey, Janet, thanks for the healing. I've been having digestive problems for quite some time now, and I was wondering if it's related to my solar plexus. No, it's not. If so, is it healed now? And if not, could you recommend a video? Your CV meridian, the one that's in front, that seems to, like especially when you're having digestive problems, it seems to get really like compressed and there's not a lot of flow there. Like even at the start of it, because like you can imagine your CV meridian like a tube, like a red tube, and the start of it, because it comes from somewhere else inside, this meridian, CV meridian, stands for conception vessel meridian. So if you look up Janet Wright, CV meridian. But anyway, you can imagine this CV1 point that's under there, just like unblock that and then like unblock any of it here. So it just flows nicely in there. Sometimes, for context, of course, for other people, I don't think that's true in this case, but for other people, there can be obviously very physical reasons why someone has digestive issues, like, maybe you can't process dairy, but you're eating dairy, or, you can't digest so much raw food, but you are eating a lot of raw food, or you're eating some raw food and your body can't tolerate it. Like for me, I can only have uncooked food like now during late summer pretty much, and in very small amounts, like very small amounts, because my body just doesn't have enough digestive chi to properly handle raw food. If I eat a lot of raw food, the next day is going to just not be fun, digestively speaking. So, but I think with you, it might not be so much about the food that you're eating. But yeah, it's not your third chakra anymore. I would say CV meridian. Of course, GV, do GV and CV. Yeah, I would say if you do that video or any of my Wei Chi aura work, but there's a separate video about it. Janet Wright Wei Chi aura, Wei Chi auras. It's like a 45-minute video where I first introduced Wei Chi auras. But basically, there are these 15 extra auras that we all have on a spirit level, and they're just big auras. They're in the same place as your regular auras. They're just extra auras. Just look for the Wei Chi auras that have big blockages either in front of or in your intestinal and stomach area. So like in front of or in that area. And you have like about 6 out of 15 of your Wei Chi auras have significant hard pieces of energy and or little pesky beings in that area. So just, take your time, do them one at a time, maybe do like 3 a day, 3 Wei Chi, or just use your intuition. Can I do another angels? But just keep clearing all your Wei Chi auras in that area, or just intuitively pick the 6 that are blocked or have beings or stagnant energy right there, in around here and in that area. But also GV and CV meridian. But other than that, you look like you're very present these days. Okay, so another one that is pre-submitted. Okay, this one is, if you hear it, you might think, oh, that doesn't relate to me because it talks about a more acute condition. But I'm going to explain that it's relevant for everybody because acute conditions, a lot of times in energy work, acute conditions are just, they have more of a certain imbalance than everyone else has, but everyone else could also learn from this and still work these same things and benefit. That's part of why group healings work, because the people that are really stuck are still have a lot in common with the people that are not that stuck, and they all need the same type of work. So anyway, so here's the question that you might instantly tune out and be like, that's not for me. So this woman says, I give her and her son, she gets all the triplet healings, and her son, who's like 15 or 16 now, gets all the triplet healings. She says, yes, I have been anxious about my son's mental health and safety. Not because of the healings, but just before then, he's had issues. He's been having suicidal thoughts, self-harming, and self-medicating. So I know already from talking to her that, as far as how suicidal he is, he's probably, in the less acute stages of it. There are different stages. I'm not an expert in suicidal behavior. So, you could go to a psychotherapist who is, anybody listening, and get help. But anyway, he's not like planning it out. It's like they're fleeting thoughts that later he barely remembers. So it still counts. It's still a big deal, but it's not the same as somebody who starts planning and, and all that. So, but again, it's in a continuum. But again, I know that most of my listeners do not have suicidal thoughts at all, even on a really bad day. But the advice that I'm going to give her is stuff she could do for herself. She can keep an eye on with her son, and everybody can keep an eye on for themselves, just to have better days, more positive days, more productive days, more satisfying days. So it's the same issues, actually. It's just he has a very acute form of imbalance in these things, and everyone else, most people do not. Okay, so he, suicidal thoughts, self-harming, self-medicating. So what's going on? So what I would say is the mom now, she's not a total newbie. She's been getting these healings for a while. Probably sometimes she's motivated to heal herself. A lot of times she's not still, but she has some knowledge, right? So what I would say is people that, okay, well, quality of life, right? Your sense of if you have a good day, you have a future in your life, or your life is terrible and so blocked and pointless. Part of that is aura repair, chakra repair. So those two things, aura repair, chakra repair, grounding, unblocking is a big deal. It's so simple, but it's a big deal, having wide and flowing grounding. And then your spiritual path. And with chakras, repairing all of them is important, but maybe 4 and 7 extra. 4 is enthusiasm, motivation, self-esteem. So like, yay, I can do it. Yay, what a good day. Gratitude. 7 makes you feel like you're in control of your life. You're confident, you're in control, you're not overwhelmed. So making sure these 2 are especially repaired and flowing, but really you need all of them repaired and flowing. So you need your aura, because that's like your safety bubble, right? So that helps keep everything really safe. You need all the chakras to be repaired, but especially 4 and 7. This is the kind of stuff we do in every triplet healing set, right? So aura repair, chakra repair, grounding and blocking, we do all the time in the triplet healings, and unblocking your spiritual path out in front of you. So I had one person who said, oh, I don't know if I'm going to find her question. Yeah, I don't know. But you can feel unmotivated and low energy because your path is blocked, your spiritual path in front of you. Because like as you make progress, your part of your spirit is walking forward on this path. And so if it's like, these like big 40-foot energy blocks on your path, you can't go forward. And so you just kind of stay there and you're like, So that there's a video to unblock your spiritual path. It's called Own Path, Clear Punishment. Janet Wright. So if you search Janet Wright, Own Path, that might be enough, but you could also take Clear Punishment and you'll definitely pull it up then. So I would say that's like a power 5, So aura repair all chakras, unlock grounding, unlock your spiritual path out in front of you, just like a big wall of gold fire, torch away all your obstacles. And then extra love for your 4th and your 7th. I can do it. Yes, I can. I can do it. Yes, I can. So, okay, she's not going to be able to get her 16-year-old son to do any of that, probably, right? But people are influenced by those around them. So for example, like say a woman, if this were her husband, right? And they live together, they're still married. Even if they're divorced and they don't live together anymore, your ex is still influenced by you, affected by you. So if you do this healing for yourself that you need, we all need, but that person extra needs, they might be positively influenced by you making these changes. Just on a subconscious level, do not preach to them. They don't want to be preached to, right? But just quietly on your own, you don't have to tell them anything consciously. Just do this stuff for yourself. Aura repair, chakra repair, grounding, spiritual path, 4 and 7. Even if you do like 2 seconds of it, just like go like this and let gold light help your confidence and your sense of self-control and your self-love. Just gold light here and here. Even if you just do that for like 5 seconds a day, that's something, right? But that's really the list of things. There's one more thing too, because, okay, so there's a continuum, right? And so that person who's, having fleeting suicidal thoughts, all that, when he's getting triple healings, but then it's not it doesn't last, you know, the whole month till the next month. So probably by about the 20th or 25th, that's when he's having his worst time, because the healings do last for a little bit. And he's learned to work with his angels in his sleep, which is a big part of why the healings help in a lasting way, is because there's a lot of prep work with the angels in your sleep. So people kind of get used to like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to let my angels heal me tonight in my sleep, you know, but it kind of wears off the like good habit of it. He kind of gets more distracted and stops letting his angels heal him in his sleep around the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of every month. And so then he's got, you know, from then until maybe the 5th or whatever the next month, when the first triplet healing starts, and the prep maybe of the triplet healing starts at the start of the month. So he's got that end last week of each month, which is probably most likely his most, you know, depressed or whatever, imbalanced time. So that could be the extra time when you're doing this, you know, and you're saying, you know, just remind yourself and remind him on a spirit level. You can just say, hey, you know, I just want to let you remind you, you have angels and they can repair your space, your energy today. You know, just like that, just a little reminder. These people really forget, you know, on a spirit level, particularly people that are prone to that heaviness. It's just not their default yet to realize all the beautiful things that they could have, like angel healing 24/7. So the idea is do it for yourself. And then, you know, you could keep an eye, you know, you could kind of watch like, oh yeah, his aura is getting really damaged. And it's probably, you know, if they get triplets all the time, but they don't get the second healing in the mid-month, then, you know, and not everyone's got the money for all the healings, you know, just kind of watch. And if they start getting a dip in their aura, you know, aura damage, just remind them on a spirit level, hey, your angels can repair your aura for you. Because aura repair is probably the biggest thing that starts making people feel really depressed and desolate. Another thing is avoidance, because that's sort of the thing that the people that, you know, literally have thoughts of suicide, it's like it's like avoidance to the extreme. What's the way to avoid all your problems? Well, you think it's to end your life, but it won't avoid anything. All your problems get saved for future lives then. So it doesn't help. So you could work your avoidance. So that mom that asked the question, she should work her, you know, go to like, it's like the Tuesday, August 11th video, I think. So it would be like Healing 3 for the August 2020 theme was, I believe it was Love Life. Yeah, it was Love Life, but we did so much work on clearing avoidance. It was really cool. So that August 11th Love Life video, the avoidance librarian work. The more that you do that work, you, the mom, then it just kind of sets a different tone for the house, because he lives in your house, and he'll be more likely to just subconsciously copy you on that. So that would be good. So especially if anybody has a loved one who's more prone to depression, because again, depression is, you know, regular depression is less extreme than, you know, thoughts of suicide, but it's all on that same continuum of, you know, being sad, being super sad, you know, wanting to give up, wanting to really give up, you know. So it's a way of avoiding, you know, you have too much sadness, you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with it, right? So if you just, okay, a simple version, just imagine all the sadness that you're avoiding and just put it in one package, you know, just imagine, or a big pile, and just say, angels, here, can you take that pile and help me with it? You know, or you can imagine them like books of repressed sadness that you're not dealing with, and just give all the books, make them just one book, and just give that book to your angels, your book of sadness avoidance. Because it's not that, you know, in this case, and in many cases, it's not that the suicidal child, you know, all the problems come from the parents, but it is possible that some more avoidant parents, you know, within a normal range, have accidentally not modeled, you know, clearing avoidance to their child, and for past life reasons, their child is already more prone to depression and emotional issues and avoidance. So the good news is it's not too late. You can just work on your own avoidance, you know, do your avoidance librarian exercise from the Tuesday, August 11th, 2020 Love Life video. Just go in the comment section, look up avoidance librarian and do that exercise. It's probably like 10, 12 minutes, but it's really good. And you could just do that as much as you want. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So again, the 5 areas, which are now really 6 areas, oral repair that help anybody with quality of life, but especially, you know, people that are sad or have anger issues or suicidal issues, super suicidal or little suicidal issues. And disclaimer, I'm not saying you don't need therapy. You know, if you have the opportunity to get good psychotherapy from a, you know, good talk therapist, that can help too, of course. But oral repair, chakra repair, grounding, unblocking, spiritual path unblocking, extra gold light and unblocking for your 4th and 7th, and then the avoidance librarian work. You know, working on giving all that you're avoiding, giving it to your angels rather than just shove it down. Okay. So now if that was too triggering for you, do a quick reground, red, orange, or yellow, maybe a tricolor soak, bring up the earth energy, you know, red, orange, yellow. Maybe a big blanket exercise, gold blanket out in front of you, dump onto the blanket anything that got triggered by that, and then just melt it away, melt the piles of energy blocks away. You can say, angels, can you please give me a blessing and a healing? And wiggle your toes. All right. Someone says, hi, Janet. Hi, Janet. I followed along. The flowers healing to my chakras really moved me and relieved me, and also the turquoise earth energy balm on my wounds. I felt able to unlock physical issues too. Unblock physical issues too. Good. I'm glad it helped you. Thank you so much for the feedback. So it says, hi, Janet. So it says, I feel so much better than I have for the past 10 days. I was in a very low place physically and emotionally. I feel like I'm coming out of somewhere that was kind of dark. Yes. It was mostly aura damage, which we have discussed, but yeah, it was mostly aura damage that it did seem like your aura you did repair your aura at one point for like 3 days, but then it got really damaged again for a whole bunch of days. Whenever anyone has aura damage for days and days and days, it's no fun at all. So, you know, that 10-minute video to repair your aura, if that doesn't work and you do it and you keep trying it, like, Janet, I've been doing this for 3 days, I still feel like crap, post under the video. I mean, sometimes I'm on vacation or staycation, so I can't reply, but, you know, at least you're trying to get some extra feedback. You know, just post under the video, I've tried this for a week, it's not working, you know, and then I could look at what's going on that your aura isn't repairing properly. We do need to wrap up, so I'm going to read one more pre-prepared question. We do need to wrap up, but we're not going to, but we will soon. I can't get to everyone. Sorry about that. This one is just so irresistible. I even mentioned it already in the healing, but I'm going to mention it again. Someone says, how does one achieve peace of mind when we are struggling with emotions and stress? Do we go within? Is there an energy method that may help? Okay, so achieve peace of mind. I had asked my angel about this, and they reminded me that this person thinks of peace of mind as like an absolute that you achieve, versus a continuum of more or less peace of mind. So she's thinking if she's struggling with emotions and stress, you know, it's like, how do you have both? How do you have peace of mind and emotions and stress? Well, the idea is to have less emotions and less stress, less imbalanced emotions and less stress. So you bring yourself gradually more into balance. So there's not like, I mean, the only, you know, maybe you could try, because I think this person is looking for something where all of a sudden, boom, now I have a ton of peace. And I think that there's nothing realistic within the body that's going to, bam, you know, clear everything really fast. Tricolor soak sometimes works, an earth energy soak, you know, just like soaking in that much earth energy sometimes can kind of clear a lot fast, you know, so red and then bring it down, then orange earth energy, and then bring it down, then yellow earth energy, and just leave it up. So, you know, Janet Wright, try color soak. Also just unblocking your grounding, you know, that whole aura repair, unblocking grounding idea. Janet Wright, aura repair, unblock grounding. I think it's like a 10-minute video. It's really 11 minutes, but it says 10 minutes. But because probably if you're struggling with emotions and stress, probably your grounding is blocked and your aura is damaged. So those, you know, the big 5 or big 6, you know, at least 2 out of 6 of those issues are happening. So you if you're struggling, you probably don't have good grounding, and you probably have aura damage. So repair your aura, unblock your grounding. So then you will be struggling less. And you're not perfect then, but the idea is, how do I get more efficient with my energy work? I think is really the thing, because it's a continuum. So you just want to be less drama, less stress, less, you know, emotional baggage. So, you know, just kind of challenge yourself to get from where you are to where you want to be a little bit more efficiently. You know, but this whole achieve peace of mind stuff, meh. You know, like I said, there is one, I didn't mention it yet, I was working up to it. I have an out-of-body meditation, which is not good enough, but if you want just like a little breather, you know, an out-of-body meditation sometimes is nice with that. So Janet Wright, out-of-body meditation, I think would pull it up, since I only have one. Janet Wright, out-of-body meditation. I'm like outside actually, and I do an out-of-body meditation outside in my backyard that I had at the time. So, but because if you're all triggered and your grounding is messed up, and that's why you don't have peace of mind right now, or you don't have any peace right now, if you go and you do an out-of-body meditation, so you have this, it's called sky jacuzzi. You make a gold, you know, jacuzzi, you have gold healing energy, and you're sitting in your gold jacuzzi. You're away from some of the triggered energy. So you may feel not totally better, but you may feel like, oh, that helped a little, because some of what's triggered is in your physical aura, not your astral body aura. So doing an out-of-body meditation process like that to then further clear your triggers of your physical body and your astral body, you know, and then come back in, you know, and then do some clearing this way, you know. So incorporating some out-of-body meditation work on a regular basis could be nice, you know, just like, you know, say you have 5 minutes, right? So do the first, you know, do maybe a minute in body, and then do 2 minutes out of body, and then do 2 minutes in, you know, maybe. But if you're doing an out-of-body meditation, make sure you're not driving, make sure you're not, you know, running with scissors. Very cool. We have to end. This is so fun though. One more. Someone says, does hearing your angels sometimes seem like creative ideas? Yes. Yeah, of course. Angels can be helping you with creativity. Sure. Angels can help you with anything, with courage, with getting to sleep, with, you know, focusing, with, you know, finding poop in your backyard from dogs. So yes, it could be in the form of creative ideas. For sure. So yeah. Yeah. So that's it. No time for any others, but I love this. I had fun. I hope you guys did too. Hope you can forgive me that I didn't get to some of the pre-submitted and some of the live questions. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you realize you have angels, And, just the more you heal yourself, basically, the easier it is to hear them, because then you'll get less stuck in your ego, how you think things should be. And, you'll be able to have a more peaceful mind. You'll be able to be more open to love. And angels, they communicate on a vibrational range that is basically peace and love. Even if they're telling you, okay, you need to go to bed now, it's still peace and lovey. It's that same vibe. So if you can work more and more your peace and more your self-love, it'll help make you more open to what your angels are saying to you. Like, there's no way your angels are not talking to you. No way at all. Like, some people were like, oh, I don't think my angels have been talking to me this year. It's like, that's impossible. Literally impossible. It's just that you're not hearing them. In some cases, because you're thinking it's supposed to be this out loud voice, and it's not. It's subtle. It sounds like just like you're thinking, like, oh, I should go to bed now. But like you were just about to eat something. So you weren't thinking, oh, I should go to bed. It's just your angel saying, you should go to bed now. Like, if it's healthy and it's this loving, logical thought that's kind of out of nowhere, that's definitely one of your angels. Okay, thank you so much. You guys are great. The next Q&A will be Sunday, September 20th. And there'll be a group healing that day too, the healing masterclass on healthy family boundaries. That's Sunday the 20th of September. It's already sold out, but you could follow along if you didn't pay for it. You can heal yourself. And the next healing that I do, group healing, is the Tuesday one, which is also, of course, sold out, but it's on peace of mind and hearing your angels. And so everyone's welcome to watch and heal yourself as you watch, if you're not one of the 100 people that I'm healing. Oh, one note I will say that the angels are like, yeah, you should say that. Okay, so there is an auto pay subscription option, so that, for people that don't want to have to buy these group healings before they sell out, they don't want to like time it and think about that, but they want to do all the healings. If like there's a subscription that gets you all the triple healings and all the healing masterclass healings every month, I call it a full subscription. And then there are two half subscription. There's one that if you only want all the triplet sets, those healings at the start, towards the start of the month, or you only want the healing masterclass healings. So there's a healing masterclass, half subscription you could get, or a triplet only subscription you could get. Those are all choices on my website, but I'm going to have to like somehow take those links off starting on the 15th of each month, like for the second half of the month. So you're going to have to coordinate with me if you want to buy a subscription that, say, the payments come out on the 15th or the 20th or the 30th or whatever. Email me and talk to me about it. It'll be possible if we work it out in advance of the 15th, but otherwise, we can work it out if we plan ahead. But otherwise, if you want one of those subscriptions, you haven't bought it yet, but you do want one, especially because now they're selling out faster, you can buy one like now on my website. There are purchase links. If you go to the sessions pay here now menu, towards the bottom, you'll see the subscriptions. I explained it all, but if it doesn't make sense, just email me so you can get clear on what there are. But anyway, you can buy them between now and like the 14th, no problem, just on my website. You don't have to talk to me, just buy them if you want an auto pay subscription. But like I said, if you want one to have the auto payments come out in the second half of the month, you're gonna have to email me and we'll coordinate something, because otherwise I'm gonna oversell if I allow people to buy subscriptions late in the month. So I'm gonna disable those links at the second half of each month. Just the subscription purchase links. But anyway, so you can still manually buy the group healings if you want, like you just want this one or that one, or you want to pay at random times. But the problem is you have to buy it before it sells out. And so now that window of time is narrowing. So like, maybe the triplet sets, I think last time they sold out in 5 days, but they might sell out in like 2 days, And then the healing masterclass, that sold out in about 3 weeks. but you know, that time window will probably reduce. So you just have to be faster in buying them if you want to buy manually before they sell out. Okay, enough of that. You're awesome. Thank you very much. Please give this a thumbs up if you don't mind. It would help the video